Hey, Shalom, Shalom. It's SOJ, Torah Knights. We got Z, we got Jeremiah. And yeah, I want to say all praises to Yahweh God, you know, and Thawad Yahweh for allowing us to, live another day to keep his Torah, to stay in truth. Because with all these damn false doctrines going around, you know what I'm saying? Talking about Kemet, talking about Egypt this, talking about negro-only. You get niggas still stuck on, Jesus. And you can't find him nowhere in the Torah. They, you know what I'm saying? Even he, his name was Joshua. He taught the Torah. That's it, man. But yeah, we just gonna go in on some of these false doctrines that's been out. So with that, I'll pass it off to the next brother.
Shalom, shalom. SOJ here, brother Z. Nice to see you guys again. I want to say first and foremost, hallelujah, Dawada Yahweh Adonai for allowing us to be here and to present the information we have today. So, shalom to all the brothers and sisters watching. Shalom to the brothers on the panel. Today we're going to be, talking about various different topics, but one of the main things that we're going to be talking about is this weird negro only doctrine. There's been a lot of contention within our people about who is and who isn't Israel and whatnot, but we'll get into that in the video. Shalom to you brothers and sisters, and let's get it rolling.
Hey, Khan, Shalom, Karas.
Shalom, shalom.
Sister Mac.
All praises unto Yahweh God, Kawaida Yahweh God. This is Jeremiah, Israel, or, Jeremiah, so whatever. But today, like the brother said, we're going to be debunking negro-only Israelite doctrine. Real quick, did y'all know Jabari admitted that he doesn't know who introduced Ma'at into Kemet?
Really? But I'm saying though, he's supposed to be a Kemetic priest and charging for classes and for trips to go to Egypt and Ghana. But it's like, bro, come on now, bro. And then he got beat by Judah, and he didn't even had a Coptic dictionary. Like, bro, he didn't even know the language. But trying to argue. It's like, come on, bro.
Right, it makes no damn sense.
Yeah, I don't understand how you not know about like history if you're you're certified Kemetic priest. You know what I mean? And honestly, we haven't talked about some of these debates that have been going on, but just bias in the simplest sense of the word,
Exactly, bro. Exactly. All completely biased. Nobody really pays attention to what's being said. They just what's that word? Eisegesis, where they apply their own feelings to things instead of thinking critically about what's being shown.
Hey, Khan, bro. Hey, Khan. Hey, Shalom, Michael. Shalom, Piano. You like right here.
Check this out. I want to play this real quick. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Is it back camera? Give me. I just want y'all to hear it real quick. Hold on. This is Jabari right here.
So maybe you're actually saying, well, who was the first person to describe Ma'at? And I'm going to honestly say to you, we don't know. We don't actually know.
Oh, wow.
Right there, yeah. He said, we don't know who described Ma'at or introduced it into Kemet. So if he's saying that, and he's admitting that, how then can they say the Torah was plagiarized off of anything in Egypt?
Facts. That's facts, bro. And it's like,
yeah.
Like, bro, that makes no sense.
If you don't understand the approach of Ma'at in your own society, how are you going to then debate that over the principles of another? You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't even know where this comes from. Yet there's brothers presenting to him, we know where this comes from. It's linked to other things in like modern history as well. It's just crazy because there is a very defined link between Egypt, like the Egyptian pantheon, if you will, and the Hindu pantheon. Even their practices and even some of their core values.
Facts. Look, like Brother Judah brought out earlier on that live, right? About Jabari's whole trip and like all that, where it said Kemetic yoga, right? Now, bro, that comes from Hinduism. That, bro. Like what, bro? Come on, bro. There's a word for Hindu in the Egyptian hieroglyph. It's like, bro, like what are you talking about? But
Exactly.
that's what Egypt was doing, right? It was, bestiality, homosexuality. Niggas was wearing makeup. Niggas was cutting their hair off because they had lice. Bro, niggas was eating piss and drinking piss, shit, semen in the Nile. Like, come on, man. It was just unclean.
Disgusting.
That's why I specifically said in the Torah, do not go down to Egypt.
Exactly. Also, like how in the Pashadah she be saying that Moses copied off of some stupid shit in Egypt, and like the temple comes from Egypt. First of all, Moses is the tabernacle in the wilderness doesn't resemble anything of no dumbass temple in Karnak. Two, there is a timeline discrepancy from the time Moses got or learned, from Yahweh on Mount Sinai to when she supposedly said they copied off of Egypt, because she claims that Moses was learned in all the ways of the Egyptians, and from there he copied what they knew and made the Torah. But that doesn't make any sense, because Moses, he was in Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai is not in Egypt, so who did he learn off of?
Right.
She was trying to mix Abraham's name with English, the Arabic with the English. And I have it here. Not Moses, Abraham's name, just translated here. And the root word of Abraham's name is the Ebar, and then the Ham at the end is like plural,
Right.
if I'm mistaken. So it's like, it means father, ancestor, author, inventor, uh, a priest, a prophet type of honorary father, in that way, a teacher, advisor, strong ones, to be strong, to fly, to soar, to be strong in the mind. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean father of rams. You know what I mean? It literally means like ancestor, or like a strong minded ancestor, in a way. So it's like
Facts, bro. She tried to put Eb, which is like father, and then Ram, which the word for ram in our language, or Yahweh would be Shah. Shah, and then you got Ayal or Ayallah, and then you got Zen or Zain, which means like the flock, or of like sheep or like goats. It's like, come on now, bro.
but enough of that for this point. If you brothers wanted to go ahead and move on into the negro only thing, we can start chopping it up. And pretty much what we want to get at, and what we aim to do with this video, is there's a lot of brothers and sisters in Yasharal who have like this prejudice type, emotional standpoint on things. And that happens to be with a lot of the different Israelites, but particularly in our case, Negroes, because we are Negroes, what I mean, quote unquote. And since I'm quote unquote black, and the brother D is quote unquote black, we understand this type of idea, because even in our own culture, it's like dark niggas, hate on light skinned niggas, and light skinned niggas hate on dark skinned niggas, you know what I mean? And it makes no sense. But when you further that, it gets to a point where amongst the Israelite community, there's a divide, and you have some quote unquote black American Israelites who assume that all of Israel are black Americans, which is false. Or they assume that all Israel are similar to black Americans, but that's not the case. The Most High say he scattered us abroad.
Exactly.
There were nations that we were in, like when certain Israelites were still around the land, there were other Israelites scattered, so we've been taken to almost every land. And our brothers need to understand that not everybody is going to look the same. Not everybody is supposed to look the same. Even in antiquity, brothers that there's 12 tribes, and then Joseph's tribe was added on after Joseph's life. Ephraim and Manasseh, they definitely wouldn't look the exact same, because even when Joseph's brothers first came to him in Egypt, did they recognize him? No. And that's just from a lifestyle. So think about generations of different connections, different, relationships, we're not going to all look the same. And that's that I wanted to say that off the dome, you know.
Right, exactly. Also, I just want to make a
Right.
quick point on what you mentioned about Joseph. It's interesting because some negro-only Israelites say they didn't recognize him because Joseph was black, the Israelites are black, and the Egyptians were black, right? But in the Torah, it doesn't state what Joseph actually looked like. Now, when you think about it, Joseph was sold to his brothers, or not sold to his brothers, sold to, I think, the Midianites or Ishmaelites, and then he went into Egypt, and then he spent some years in that dungeon, and then afterward, he interpreted the Pharaoh's dream, and then he became like a prominent figure in Egypt, even to the point of becoming second to Pharaoh. So he rose to prominence in Egypt, and then he obviously was like wealthy. So when he saw his brothers wouldn't have recognized him. One, because he was a teenager when they first sold him, and then it was like 12 years later that they came to Egypt. So he obviously grew up and his facial features changed. But Joseph would have remembered his brothers because he seen them when they were already full grown. They were adults, and he was just a little kid. So one, they wouldn't have recognized him because he became a figure in Egypt, and his dress, the way he dressed, it would have been different. So they wouldn't have recognized him just off of that. But anyways, let's get started on this.
Hey, come on. I wanted to say too, Joseph's wife was an Egyptian. So we were mixed, bro. It's like, bro, you show me the word Negro in the Torah. You can't. You can't find it.
Exactly. Anyways, so let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so what y'all want to start off with first?
It's up to you. You can get the ball rolling if you like.
All right, cool.
Hey,
So let's
Shalom,
see.
Leo.
I'm gonna start off with where's it at? We're gonna start off with Song of Songs, right? Now, first, many people take this in a like more like a physical sense and say, oh, this is a Shulamite woman talking, but where can you find that's talking about a Shulamite woman, or a Shulamite woman's even talking in that verse? Where at, right? Plus, we know that in a more how should you say it, a spiritual sense, this can be rendered as the Israelites, or not Israel, but it's like in a more spiritual sense, it's Israel speaking kind of themselves in a way to the Most High. And it's obvious when you read the entire chapter that it's speaking about Israel as a nation and their sins, not talking about them actually looking one how should you say it, one way or one color. Because when you read when you read in chapter 2, and we'll start at verse 5, it says, I say to him, sustain me in exile with dainty cakes, spread fragrant apples about me to comfort my dispersion. For bereft of your presence, I am sick with love, with memories of his loving support in the desert, of his left hand under my head, or his right hand enveloping me. Right there, when it's speaking about with memories of his loving support in the desert, that's speaking about like Israel during the Exodus period. And then you could read that in let me see, I think it's Exodus, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's chapter 12. Because remember something here when Moses, no, 13, right? It says this in chapter 13, verse 3. Moses said to the people, remember this day on which you departed from Egypt, from the house of bondage. For with the strong hand, Hashem removed you from here, right? So we know that this is speaking about Israel in Song of Songs I'm reading it from the Art Scroll Tanakh, and it's different because in the KJV, like it's straight trash. Like I have that version, I don't really read it because it's like it's dookie and shit, bro. But yeah, in the Art Scroll Tanakh, it's giving you a different interpretation for it, and it's letting you know that this is about Israel as a nation, right? Because when we read here again in chapter 1, verse 4, it says, upon perceiving a mere hint that you wish to draw me near, we rushed with perfect faith after you into the wilderness. And that's exactly when I read in Exodus chapter 13, verses 1 through 6, where it says, remember this day that you departed out of Egypt. And it's because Moses, when he spoke to the Most High told him, hey, in layman's terms, he's like, you're going to be used to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt. And when Moses went to the children of Israel and spoke to them about this, they had faith, right? At that point in time, they had faith, and they did this, and they went into the desert, Sinai Peninsula, and then from there they went into the Levant of Israel. So we know that this is talking about the children of Israel and their sins, because it also states. Let me go back here. Um, it says here, though I am black with sin. We know that like colors and certain metals in the Torah, in a more spiritual sense, could be used to describe one's like a spiritual state. We know that like white, the color white, if I'm not mistaken, it represents like purity. From I think Song of Songs 5:10, I believe, white and ruddy.
I think
When
that's
you look at, so what?
I think that might be Laban.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
I believe it is. Yeah, when you look at that word, it denotes like a purity, it denotes righteousness. Same thing with gold, how it represents like a refining, right? So
Huh.
when you look at this in a more in-depth way, in a more like how would like how should I say it? Like a 3D type of view. You look at it like from a broader perspective. We know that this is not just talking about a woman speaking to the daughters of Jerusalem saying, "Hey, I am black but beautiful." Like, what would be the point of even saying that? It wouldn't even make any sense. Plus, like if I'm thinking, in my opinion, I think Solomon wrote these because we know that King Solomon, he if I can't remember the verse verbatim, but he prayed for wisdom more than anything. And when you pray for wisdom, this is sort of like I don't even want to mention it, but like in the New Testament when Jesus like claiming he spoke in parables, this is like it could be the same thing could be applied here, where Solomon, he prayed for wisdom above all, so he was speaking in a more parabolic sense when in Song of Songs. And
Con.
we know that the children of Israel is like a wife to Yahweh, and he's like their husband.
Huh.
So yeah, with this one exactly, I'm gonna get into the verse now. I just had to explain that real quick. It says, "Though I am black with sin, I am comely with virtue. O nations destined to ascend to Jerusalem, though sullied as the tents of Kedar, I will be immaculate as the draperies of him to whom peace belongs. Do not view me with contempt, despite my swarthiness, for it is but the sun which has glared upon me." Now, real quick, right here, if we just go by negro-only Israelite logic, verse 6 cuts their shit, because when you look at the word there, the Hebrew word for, or the Yahweh Dayath, right, for it is but the sun which has glared upon me. When you look at that word there, it's shazaf, and it means by implication sunburning or a tan, right? So just going off their logic, pandering to their logic, the Shulamite woman supposedly that they're saying this is talking about, she became dark by going out into the sun, which I'm pretty sure they're not ready to talk about that, because they only bring up verse 5 where it says in the King James, "I am black but calmly." Right now, that word, I think it means shakor, right? And it means properly dusky, but also absolute jetty or black. They don't think to how should I say it? They don't think to actually read in context, because when you read in context, this is telling you something different. And here's what I find most interesting, right? Because when you read verse 6, like I stated, it says, "Do not view me with contempt despite my swarthiness, but it is but the sun which has glared upon me." And then it says, "The alien children of my mother." Oh, sorry, hold on. My baby's asleep. Give me a second.
Oh no, you good, bro. But Con also too. While I'm gonna share it too. So whenever you come back, I'll put a verse up on the screen. But
I just wanted to mention that in Yashar, I'm looking for the verse. There's a verse where the Most I said our brazen countenance speaks for itself, and it's like I think that might be Jeremiah, but basically that's not talking like, how should I say it? That's not talking just about like, that's not talking about skin. You know what I mean? That's talking about our way of thinking. You know what I mean? Like or it's just not talking about just your facial expression. You know what I mean? It's like it's talking about our ways. We have very brazen ways. Uh, we're it's a difference from being foolish and being confident in your foolishness. You know what I mean? And our people kind of walk around very confident and prideful in their own foolishness, essentially. You know what I mean?
Huh.
Khan, real quick. All right. So yeah, what I was saying in Song of Songs, right, 1:6, when it says the alien children of my mother, right? Now, according to these negro-only Israelites like Fopi, we know that they subscribe to the New Testament. Now, real quick, like I just want to bring this up. Like I don't rock with New Testament. I don't even want to talk about New Testament, but I just want to bring this point up real quick. It's I believe Paul says it, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here, where he says, Jerusalem is the mother of us all. This is Galatians chapter 4, verse 26. Now, we're going to pander to their logic because they subscribe to the New Testament. We're going to go to the King James since that's their favorite verse, right? So in the King James version, King James Bible of Galatians chapter 4, verse 26, it says, but Jerusalem, which is above is free, which is the mother of us all, right? So according to their logic, um, this Song of Songs, right? 1:6, when it says the alien children of my mother, this is talking about Israel, the land of Israel, right? When it speaks about the alien children, this is speaking about the nations which were around Israel, right? And it says the alien children of my mother incited me and made me keepers of the vineyards. When it's talking about this is talking about Israel taking part in the heathen practices and falling to their idols. Let's read some precepts for some proper context. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verses 1 through 3, where it says, when your God,
Hold on, bro. I'll
my
pull it
bad,
up
my
for you.
bad.
I'll
All right,
pull it
cool.
up for you.
All right, cool. Yeah,
You said
Deuteronomy, yeah,
7.
Deuteronomy 7, 1, yeah, right there. All right, so when it states here, when the Lord your God brings you into the land which you are coming to possess it, he will cast away many nations from among you, right? Bring you into the land which you are to possess. According to that logic, Galatians 4:26 means Jerusalem is the mother of us all, and it's in Jerusalem where Israel became a nation, basically in a sense being born, right? So let's continue. He will cast away many nations from before you: the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations more numerous and powerful than you. Verse 2, and the Lord your God will deliver them to you, and you shall smite them. You shall utterly destroy them. Neither shall you make a covenant with them, nor be gracious to them. You shall not intermarry with them. You shall not give your daughter to his son, and you shall not take his daughter for your son. Now, oh yeah, verse 4, my bad. Okay. So it says then here, for he will turn away from your son from following me, and they will worship the gods of others, and the wrath of Yahweh will be kindled against you, and he will quickly destroy you. Now let's stop right there. So going back to Song of Songs 1:6, when it states, the alien children of my mother, that's speaking about the nations that are within the land of Canaan, or the land of Israel, the mother being the land of Israel to the Israelites, when it states, inside of me and made me keepers of the vineyards, but the vineyard of my own true God I did not keep. This is talking about Israel not worshiping their own true God, but instead going to the heathen nations that are round about them and worshiping their gods, i.e., being keepers of their vineyards and not their own vineyard. Now we're gonna go to one more. Um, Let me see.
Come on.
Uh, Next, go to 2 Kings chapter 16, verses 2 through 3.
You said say King. Oh,
Yeah, 2 Kings 16.
what verse, bro?
Let's start at verse 2. All right, so it states, Ahaz was 20 years old when he became king, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. He did not do what was pleasing to Yahweh, his Elohim, however people choose to say it, as his ancestor David had done, but followed the ways of the kings of Israel. He even consigned his son to the fire in the abhorrent fashion of the nations which Yahweh had dispossessed before the Israelites. So this is saying that he, King Ahaz, went after the practices of the heathen nations. So when you read in Song of Songs 1 through 6, it says the alien children of my mother incited me and made me keepers of the idols, but the vineyard of my own true God I did not keep. This is talking about, again, the heathen nations influencing Israel to follow after their idols, their gods, and not keep the vineyard of their own God, which is Yahweh. This is the proper context of Song of Songs 1, 5 to 6, when you actually look at it in depth and not just read it at face value. Now I have some more some more precepts here. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I'm actually done with that one. I don't want to give away all the ammo.
No, I feel you, bro. Hey, Con, I wanted to bring this out real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
I had a little piece after you, 2D, because it's really important for our
Exodus.
people. I was reading Zechariah earlier, and the Most High said more than anything. I'm not gonna say more than anything. He said, but what he desired of our people was to do kindness and to love peace. And when you think about it, when you think about it, and you think about all the situations and all the how should I say, when you think about all the different situations you may run into, you know what I'm saying? If you keep truth, peace at the forefront, it's like you can overcome almost anything. You know what I mean? Like if our people were to legitimately focus on peace and truth, then we could actually overcome a lot of the issues that we have. Just like think about it. I know it sounds crazy, or people be like, yeah, obviously if everybody can just get along, but it's not about that. It's about truth and truthful justice, along with prioritizing peace as the main thing. You know what I mean? So it's like if our people were able to settle our differences in a peaceable manner with a respect for the facts, then we'll be able to overcome a lot of the bullshit. Because our people are on this like hear no evil, see no evil, do no evil type bullshit.
Exactly.
But in reality, if we address the situation, just be straight up about it, and seek a better outcome peaceably, we'll be able to overcome a lot of our issues. You know.
Con. And also to piggyback off that, I just wanted to say, like, when I was in high school, when I was 15, right, I started to actually read the Bible like more and more. Like every day I would read at least like 4 chapters, 5 chapters a day, starting from Genesis. And like 2 months I got to the book of Isaiah. And as I started reading it more and more, I started to notice things differently, and I started to look at everybody differently. I'm like, yo, like all of y'all are living like really weird and like how should I say it, idolatrous, right? And so from like reading the Torah, it actually does help you. It helps you spiritually, it helps you mentally, and it opens your eyes to how the world is actually super like evil and is destitute of anything righteous.
Con,
Hey,
I agree
Con,
100%.
bro.
Because if we could all get on the same page, literally and figuratively, uh, brothers and sisters have a different lens on life. You know what I'm saying? And if we all shared that same lens, then you know that'll put us in the same pocket.
Con. All right. Well, what are you gonna bring out, Devian?
I got it. I was like, I'll talk real quick. But this Exodus 12. And, hey Z, did you want to read this, bro? I know you wanted to bring this out too.
No, you can go ahead, bro.
All right. Right. It's a Exodus 12, verse 37. The children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, the men besides the young children, right? And also a great mixed multitude went up with them, and flocks and very much cattle, right? Said a great mixed multitude, right? It says Waqam and also a rob, which means like intermixed, right? It also means like evening, but it's mixed. Al rob, like the what I'm saying, like Al rob, not Arab, but Al
Yeah.
rob, which means like
Yeah.
what I'm saying, like a mixed person.
Exactly.
Rob, which is
Right.
like an increase or like a multitude. Allah, which means like to ascend or to go up. Atham with them. Waq Zan, Wat, Baquar, and flock, right? And cattle. Makwana Kabad Med. If I'm not mistaken, I think Makwana. Oh, you want to say? Makwana. 1 second, bear with me. Makwana. Bear with me 1 second. I had this written down.
Would that be like with cattle?
Yeah, but it's like with Makwana also means like property. Would be like livestock.
Facts.
Right?
Hey, real quick, while you're looking for that, I also wanted to mention.
Kabad. Oh, go ahead.
My bad. Okay, so how many Israelites came out of Egypt?
It says 600,000.
It was close. It was close to that.
Close to a million. All right, so let's just say it was a million total. So
I
a
mean,
million.
it was like 600, 700,000, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so yeah, like 700,000. Let's say that. So 700,000 Israelites came out of Egypt. Now we have to bear in mind when the Israelites were in Egypt, it wasn't just Israelites and Egyptians that were there. It was also Ishmaelites. It was the Midianites. It was other people too, because we know more than one nation or more than Israelites and Egyptians were in there, because during the years of famine, when Joseph was king or ruler over Egypt, every nation came down into Egypt to buy corn, or what they call corn or whatever at that time. So we know more than one people were there in Egypt, right? And there is no way 70 people are gonna give birth to 700,000 without mixing. Otherwise, they would have to, negro-only Israelites would have to say they committed a lot of incest, which that would be actually very wrong, and there would be genetic ailments. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because there's no way 70 Hebrews or Israelites would go down into Egypt and then come out 700,000 without mixing with the different nations that were in Egypt as well.
Exactly. I wanted to let Brother D finish this part real
Oh
quick.
yeah.
I want to piggyback off what you said.
I know you good, but it's all good. Makwana, which is like, it's like a possession, or like, kind of like livestock. Kabad, which is like a multitude, and then made. Uh, Kabad also means like Kabad also means like heavy as well, or to make weighty, or like a great number, right? Made like very much, right? So a mixed multitude, ara, which means mixed. And I'm gonna go to Genesis. Wait, I'm gonna go to Genesis 35.
And while the brother's getting at Genesis, I wanted to state when Jacob was working for his father-in-law, right? Do you remember what he did with his cattle? He bred them in a way to where his cattle off of Laban's flock had spots, right? They had spots of different varieties, right? But Laban's cattle were whole colored, right? That's how he created his livestock off of Laban's, right? His livestock were quite literally spotted. They had different shades and different colors, and that was how you could tell his livestock from others, right? The thing about Israel is we are a mixed multitude. We are as the sand is the sea. We are just like our forefathers' flock. We are multicolored. We're faceted, and that's just how it is. I wanted to say that though.
Kind of makes a lot of sense too.
Come on, bro.
Oh, shit, hold on. Okay. All right. You're gonna bring something out there? Yeah?
No, you good. You can go ahead, bro. I was
Okay.
getting this word real quick.
All right. So I also want to mention. All right. So now we're gonna go to Isaiah 29:22. Their favorite fucking verse, bro. I remember one time Fopi had came on Judah Natsar's the brother Judah Naz channel. I forgot when. Probably like 5 months ago, a few months ago, like back in November of last year, or October or December or whenever. But they were talking about this, and I remember one of them brought up Isaiah 29:22 and how it says, "Israel shall never wax pale; they would never turn light skinned," as they said. Makes no sense at all, right? Because now I'm gonna read it, right. So it goes there. This is from the KJV. Therefore, thus said the Lord, who redeemed Abraham, concerning the house of Jacob: Jacob shall not now be ashamed, neither shall his face wax pale. Now, according to them, the word, as you can see right here, it means to be white, hence to become pale as the face, right? But it can also, I guess there's another definition for it, like right here, where it means figuratively to be splendid or noble, right? This is from the Gesenius Hebrew County Lexicon to the Old Testament, H 2357, page 266. Now let's just take the first one right there. To be white, hence to become pale as the face. They'll take that and say, oh, that means Israel shall never become light skinned. It doesn't, because also it also means havar, right? Kavar, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. To blanch as with shame. Now we're gonna read that same verse, right? Isaiah 29:22 in a different translation. And right here, this is Isaiah 29:22 in the New English translation or whatever, right? Because
Hey,
I like
brother
doing.
Jeremiah, I didn't want to cut you off, but did you
My
just
bad.
want to? You can just share your screen if you wanted to.
Oh no, I'm on my phone. I'm not on the
Oh, okay.
laptop.
I see.
Yeah, I'll pull it up for you. I'll come back to Genesis. You say
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Isaiah. You say Isaiah.
Yeah, Isaiah 29:22.
Because that's a very good point that you're getting to.
Yes, it's so funny how they keep bringing this up as if it means something, and then y'all know Yavin, right? That dumbass that's always on Fopi.
Yeah.
No, I mean I
This
don't know.
this month, bro, he stated that the book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 12, proves that Israel is Negro only. It doesn't. I bodied the hell out of that dude in a debate on that. It's on lines. Then I think I shared it on Facebook, but he used Tobit 4:12 to try to say Israel is Negro only. But Tobit 4:12 just reiterates what's that verse? Where's my journal at? It all Tobit 4:12 reiterates is what's in what I read. I forgot what verse it was. Give me a second. In Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1 through 4, and Exodus 34, 11, 17. It just means not to get with those other nations, because they're going to turn your children away from worshiping me, and they're going to make you worship the other gods. That's all it is saying. But he insinuated that means that Israel is Negro only, when it doesn't. Because why would Tobit tell the Israelites, hey, don't get with these people based off the skin color, get with people who are as dark as you? That shit doesn't make sense. But
And that's the thing. Like, assuming that that was the law, right? And
yeah,
assuming that the people were listening, right? It states multiple times that the people, well, Salah, the people didn't listen, and that they
exactly.
went against that, and that they mixed with the other nations. Even if
That's
that was
true.
the law, the people did what the Torah states they did. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, even it's like you're acting as if that's the one law Israel never forsook.
Exactly, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That shit, it makes no sense. But anyway, so Isaiah 29:22, right? And it states, therefore, so said the Lord to the house of Jacob, who redeemed Abraham. Now Jacob shall not now be ashamed, and now his face shall not pale. Wait, and now his face shall not pale, or oh, that's from that Shabbat website. Okay, I see why the translation is a little different. But in the KJV it reads, neither shall his face now wax pale. Like I said, they'll take this and then try to say, oh, that means Israel shall never be light skinned. They'll always be dark skinned. For one, they're stupid, because according to their logic, any person could have dark skin, and it wouldn't necessarily matter if Israel, like, let's just say they were brown skinned, because they can't tell me how many Israelites had woolly hair as opposed to straight hair, because they don't know how all of the Israelites even looked. Because like you said, if 700,000 Israelites came out of Egypt, how the hell did all of them look the same? It makes no sense. It's like 700,000 people in a town. Not everybody looks the same. Everybody is different. But anyways, so we're gonna I'm gonna read. Yeah, I'm gonna read in this is the NET, right? It says, Now this is what the Lord, the one who delivered Abraham, says to the family of Jacob. Jacob will no longer be ashamed. Their faces will no longer show their embarrassment. Right? Now again, the word there, havar, right? Havar, it means to glance as with shame, right?
Con.
So this is talking about your facial countenance, the way that they look when you show emotion on your face, like when when you something scares you, like when you're sitting down and somebody comes up behind you out of nowhere, you get scared. You can show the emotion on your face that you feel fright, right? And when you feel anger, you can show it on your face. When you feel sadness and happiness, you can show all those emotions on your face. So when you're looking at this verse in its proper context, it's not telling you that they would never turn light skinned. It has nothing to do with that. What it's talking about is the emotion that they show on their face, how they feel in the position that they're in. So Israel would never feel ashamed. They would never feel sadness. That's exactly what it's talking about. But anyways, I'm gonna read. This is from the Septuagint as well, right? The word there says, "Neither shall he now change countenance." And some of these different translations, they translate in a way where it's explaining how the KJV does it. It explains what the KJV lacks. So when it says that neither shall his face wax pale, in the NET it says embarrassment, and the Septuagint says countenance. What this is telling you is that they would never feel ashamed or sadness again, right? We're gonna get some precepts here. This is the go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, and we're gonna read verse 17.
I want to say something real quick, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So now, verse 22, it says, "Therefore, so said Yahweh to the house of Jacob, who redeemed Abraham. Now Jacob shall not be shamed, and now his face shall not pale." Right. But it says, "Let not a thought now, Yah bawash, he be ashamed." But bawash also means to be confounded or confused, to become dry or ashamed
Exactly.
or put to shame, right? So it's like confounded or confused or like contrite of heart, right? It says, Ya'aquab Jacob, what led not a thought now, Fane. Remember, Fane also means face or like countenance, but it also means like within, right? Ya Kawara, which means, is like to be shamed, but to be like wax pale by to blanch with shame. Not not nothing to do with like skin color. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
like
I'll say
remember, Fane means like within. Oh, but that's all I'm saying. You said Isaiah 45.
I was saying that Salak, but like that's happened to me before. I mean, I've seen other people, I've seen other Israelites turn pale from like, you know, how should I say, you know what I mean? Just out of fear, or out of unexpected like how should I say? I've seen it before. Just in my life,
Yes.
like you can see when somebody's face turns cold and pale, and they get the cold sweats. You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It
yeah.
has nothing to do with your skin color. I've seen many brothers' faces turn pale because of it's like the blood comes out of your face. It like rushes to like
Right.
somewhere else. I don't know, but it's like you get the cold sweats and you're like, okay, what the fuck's happening? You know what I mean? You're like
Right.
pale.
Exactly, bro. You
Gun.
know what's crazy? Real quick. They say like, like negro-only Israelites like Akmalak, Battle Axe, Fopi, all of them say like just because like you're light skinned, that you're not an Israelite. And Quanath, when he was on Fopi, Netter asked him if, in layman's terms, if an Israelite man gets with the Israelite woman, if they had a baby, would that be considered an Israelite? And he said no. So like bro, like so you're basically saying like people who are mixed ain't Israelites. That doesn't make any goddamn sense because he would consider like he said the seed of the father. I think he said something about it being false or some shit like that. But basically said that was false. So any man who is mixed basically is not an Israelite. But the thing is, right? Like a lot of people subscribe to DNA or whatever. According to DNA, I guarantee, like when you look at Quanath, he don't look like a straight up so-called like like Black American or an African American or a Negro because when you look at his face, first for one, his face is too damn skinny, right? Then he got a mohawk. That's straight up white people shit. That's just facts. And then, first of all, his lips are too damn thin, right? He got them white people monkey lips, them thin ass. I seen a meme one time, or like an old white lady. She had thin ass lips. It looked like Konas. But I guarantee you, because when you people's last names, sometimes, like, I'm not saying everybody, but sometimes your last name, it there's two ways you can either acquire that last name from your ancestors, like 300 years ago, being raped by the slave master, and then here you come, you descend from that slave master through the father, whatever. And other times it'll be the slave just takes on that last name of their supposed slave master, right? But yeah, Konad, I don't even know where I was going with that. I lost my train of thought. But that dude, he don't look like a full on Negro. He looks like he's mixed with something. So according to his logic, if he were to take a DNA test, I guarantee you he would not be 100% quote unquote Negro. So then he would not be an Israelite by his own logic. But
Exactly. I
anyways,
mean, like in my family personally, uh, I have Native Americans in my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when you think of a Native American, you think of like a lighter tone, copper,
yeah,
long black straight hair. But my grandmothers on both of my sides of my family are Cherokee, and they're way darker than me, and they have this long, beautiful black. It's kind of straight, but it's not straight at the same time. It's like fluffy, but it's like it's long and beautiful, and they're very dark. And basically, what I'm getting at is that when people think of Native Americans, not all Native Americans look the same. You know what I mean? And
right,
some were
exactly.
actually coined for different traits. And it's
Yeah,
no different than in the east of the world. You know what I'm saying? So, wow, what I was getting at with that is, uh, basically, like, you don't like when people think of a Negro, it's like, what is that? You know what I mean? It can look
right,
like some guy it can look like Yoel Romero, or it can look like Uriah Hall. You know what I mean? So
right.
it's like, it can look like Floyd Mayweather, or it can look like uh 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 what was that guy's name? That just fought. Uh
You talking about
Tank Davis.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
even he doesn't look 100%. And he looks like he's mixed with something somewhere down the
Exactly.
line.
He like Blake he like a Blake Griffin type dude. You
Right,
know what I mean? Or
exactly.
even the guy that he fought. What was the guy that he fought? What's his name? I forgot the
Um,
Hispanic guy's name.
damn, what was his name,
He
bro? Are
looked
you
he looked he looked more like a Negro
are you talking
in
about
ways than
I,
Tank did.
yeah, you mean like Isaac Cruz, the
Was
one
that his
that's like
name?
a little bit
Isaac
shorter
Cruz?
than him?
His name's Isaac.
Oh no
You know
no
what I
no no
mean?
no.
Like,
You're talking about Rolando Romero,
okay,
the
not
one he
Isaac.
recently fought.
Yeah, the guy he just fought. Basically, what I'm getting at is that if you ask a white person, you know, is this a Negro? They'd be like, yeah. And then you ask them, is this a Negro? They'd be like, yeah. So it's like, what is there is no defined, like, you know what I mean? I know our people think that anything this dark skin is a Negro. That's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go look at a
Right.
lot of different African countries, you go and look at a lot of different Eastern countries. There's plenty of dark skinned people all over the planet, and they were not all the same. You know,
Exactly. So
That's
well,
facts, bro.
okay. Yeah.
Because, like, bro, it said our people are spread to the four corners of the earth. And our people will be coming from the land of Sinim, which is China. So it's like, bro,
Yo.
where are the Negroes at in China? Where they
Right.
at? Where they rocking, you know what I'm
You
saying?
want to know
Rocking
what's funny,
Jordans,
bro?
chains, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what? You want to know what's funny too? On that point you made about Sinim, right? You said it's China. It's basically telling you the Asian, in layman's terms, the Asian nations to the east, right? And what's funny about that is, like you said, like how show me the Negro Israelites in China right now, like the remnants of the Negro Israelites in China, right? When I remember also on one of Judah's live streams back in November, Battle Axe was on there, and this I asked this dumbass, okay, so anybody that's mixed is not an Israelite, right? He said no. So I'm like, okay, so no. He said, I think they made a point. He made a point about how you have to have an Israelite mother and an Israelite father. So I'm like, all right, cool. So were the mothers of the 12 patriarchs Israelites? and he was quiet for like 5 seconds. So then I'm like, okay, so you're fucking dumb because it's through the father. The promise was made through Abraham, not Sarah. The promise was then passed down to Isaac, not his wives. The promise was then given to Jacob, not his wives. Right?
Right.
So it's through the father. And being that it's through the father, it wouldn't matter if the mother was an Edomite or whatever, because the child is still an Israelite. Moses' children were Israelites. Joseph's children were Israelites. The 12 patriarchs themselves, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all of them did not get with Israelite women. They got with women that were not Israelites. So their logic falls apart. If they're going to say that people who are mixed are not Israelites, then that means you have to cancel out all 12 tribes as being Israelites. But back to the Israelites in China, right? I don't want to say too much because, like, I have some sources. Like my pop, I have some sources where there's Jews in China, and they arrived there around the 8th century AD, and they've been there. And I shared some pictures in the group chat, right? But yeah, there's Israelites in all those regions. I'm gonna mention one group specifically. They're in Afghanistan. Their name is Yusuf Zai, right? It's let me see, how do I spell it? Give me 1 second. Like, I have it here pulled up. Like I like reading these things. I'm gonna put it in the I'm putting in the live chat so y'all can see it real quick.
You want me to put it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the live chat. Yusuf Zai, right there. I just sent it right now in the live chat. That name right there, when you break it down in the people's language there in Afghanistan, it means descendants of Yusuf. Yusuf is another name for Joseph, right? So Yusuf Zai in Pashto phonology or whatever, it means descendants of Joseph. What other Joseph could it be talking about? And those the Yusuf Zai, they're not what you would call so-called Negroes. Could check this out. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find it. I know I have the right here. Check it out. Okay, this is one picture I always like looking at because it's very interesting to me how these men look, but they're not quote unquote so-called Negro like Negro-only Israelites love to say. Now, if you could put my put me on big screen real quick.
Okay.
Look at this man. This is what is called a Yusuf Zai, right, in Afghanistan, the descendants of Joseph. Look at this man. You could tell like this man's skin is not like white or whatever. He definitely has like he has melanin to his skin, but he is not a so-called Negro by Negro only Israelite logic or standards, right? This I have more sources on this, but I'm not going to reveal everything. But this is what the Yusuf Zai basically are, right? And they're in Afghanistan, and they claim descent from Joseph. And you can take me off big screen, but yeah,
Okay.
these. So this is it's telling you like, yo, like Israelites are not all Negro, bro. Like to say that they are is to deny what the Torah is really about. And
Hey,
when
facts,
you
bro.
and you think of it in a carnal level, you're gonna get stuck and end up saying some dumbass shit that doesn't even make sense. But anyways, yeah, let's get back to this. My bad. Oh, we got sidetracked. Isaiah 45:17, right? I'm
No,
just
I
gonna read it.
real quick, I wanted to comment on that.
Oh, go ahead,
Uh,
brother.
very true, by the way. Because looking at that man, it's like obviously, like you said, he can tell he's like a bronze color, or you know what I mean. You can tell he's like a some type of brown, but his face, his facial hair, some of his facial features, like they're not what you would say, quote unquote, uh uh what's traditionally thought of as like a black person. You know what I mean? So it's like hell. I mean, you even see that here sometimes. You know.
Exactly, exactly. I have this meme in my phone. I'm gonna show it after we're done here or whatever, right? But I don't get the logic in some people, but I'm gonna show the picture later. But yeah, let's go to Isaiah 45:17.
Here you go, bro. You said 45 or 17? Yo, Jeremiah, you there?
My bad, I was on mute. Goddamn.
You
All right, so here we go. Isaiah 45:17, it states, Israel shall be saved by the Lord with an everlasting salvation. You shall neither be ashamed nor disgraced to all eternity. Right? So then when you read like you don't have to bring it up, but I'm just mentioning it. This is Isaiah 41. We're gonna go back like a few chapters. This is Isaiah 41 verse 10 and 14, where it states, Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. I will help thee. Yes, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, said Yahweh, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Right? So with those two chapters and verses, right, it's telling you that Israel is not going to have any fear. And they're not going to feel ashamed, because when you feel ashamed, like a synonym for that is to feel like disgraced, is to feel saddened, and Israel's not going to feel that. So when you read Isaiah 29:22 in its proper context, it's not telling you that Israel shall never turn white, literally, like as in phenotype, as in they will not turn from Wesley Snipes to Donald Trump. It's not telling you that, right? It's letting you know that this is about them feeling fear. It's about them feeling sorrow. It's about them feeling like as if they felt anger or dejection, which also that word, the synonym for that means also brokenhearted and sadness. I'm gonna bring that up next, and I think that's the next one. But yeah, so that's the proper context of Isaiah 29:22. It has nothing to do with what negro-only Israelites are trying to assert. But real quick,
come,
this
bro.
I want to bring up something here. You can take it off the. You can stop sharing. I have something here. This is from the Jacinius Hebrew County Lexicon to the Old Testament, page 369, and it's Strong's 3420. Um, no. You don't have to bring it up. It wasn't a Genesis. This is from the Jacinius Hebrew County Lexicon. My bad.
No, I had some I was gonna bring up.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read this verse real quick. It is from Jeremiah chapter 30, and then I'm gonna pull up the Hebrew real quick. So this is Jeremiah chapter 30, verses 4 through 7, and I'm gonna read it like this. It reads, And these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith Yahweh, We have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Right there, it's setting the tone for what's going to be read later, right? And this is verse 6. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Keep in mind, it's the KJV, so it just reads weird. It says, Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Now, if we just take it at face value, they could use Isaiah 29:22 and say, Israel shall never wax pale. But then I could come out with Jeremiah chapter 30, verses 4 through 7 in the KJV and read verse 6, and it says they have turned into paleness. So that their own logic is cut right there, because then they did turn light skin, and they're stupid.
That's a real good cut right there.
Easy.
Come,
But check this out. When you read the Hebrew for the word paleness there, from the Jacinius Hebrew County Lexicon to the Old Testament, page 369, H3420, look what it says. Put me on big screen real quick, bro.
I got you.
Look what this says, bro. And this is giving you the proper context of Isaiah 29:22 when you read it as well. And this is very interesting, bro. Check this out. I want y'all to see this. Look what it says right here. Jacinius Hebrew County Lexicon to the Old Testament, page 369. It says, of persons, paleness of face, that lurid greenish color in the countenance of men, meaning their face, when smitten with great terror. And that's exactly the same word that's used in Isaiah 29:22. So it's letting you know it's not about them actually turning light skinned. It's literally about the countenance of men when smitten with great fear. They show the emotion on their faces. So
Exactly.
and that right there alone, bro, just shows them like, yo, y'all are fucking dumb. Like y'all
Yeah,
really
bro, that doctrine, that doctrine is bugged out, bro. It's all for
exactly.
deception.
I
And
mean,
also, go ahead, my bad.
no, you got to think about it. When it's like reverse psychology, you know, when a certain ideology is placed upon a people and enforced upon a certain people for such a long time, that same people will take on that same ideology, and that's just the truth. Because our people are so subject to that, to the colorism, you know, not just by whites but by other nations as well. You know what I mean? It kind of
Yeah,
forced our people to think, kind of forced quote unquote Negroes to think like that, you know. And it's a travesty. It's kind of like when like you tell somebody a big lie, and they obviously write it off at the very beginning, but you tell that person that same big lie every day for a whole year, that person will start to believe it. I know it sounds crazy, but that's just what it
con.
is.
Hey, look, real quick. This point is it's kind of it's not predicated on what you're talking about, but this is what I've always had in my head. It happened to me on Facebook like a couple years ago, 3 years ago, and then another situation happened to me years ago when I was small. Um, like, cause I'm mixed, right? I'm mixed between Native, Spaniard, and African American, right? Now, seeing me in person, you wouldn't assume I'm Mexican. You would probably assume I'm like, goddamn, like Puerto Rican or something. But I've always been called like a Spaniard more so than being Mexican or Puerto Rican. But I have been called like I don't tell people this a lot because they probably won't believe it, but I've been called the N word before, straight up. And I'm like, yo, like my skin ain't even that dark. Like, why are you even calling me that? And I'm like, yo, these people, because they see that they see it in me, so it's like they want to isolate that and just say, oh, you're a Niggr, or as that lady said on the that sports channel one time, she said Nakers, Nakers, when speaking of the Lakers with Kobe Bryant and stuff like that. But yeah, bro, like I've been called that like my whole life. I've been discriminated against, and they want to tell me, "Oh, you're not this, you're not that." Like, bro, stop it. Like, y'all don't know me.
That's hilarious. Cause on my mother's side, my grandfather on my mother's side, his mother was an Irish white woman,
Oh,
and his
interesting.
father, this is why I'm light skinned. So on my mom's side, uh, from my mother's father, half his children are dark and half his children are light. But he himself, he was a very hot. He was like 2 3 shades lighter than me. So very high. He was very high yellow. Is what they say. But his father was a Negro, and because he grew up in the like 50s in the 40s, he he experienced he experienced what he told us. He my okay, I'm gonna just say my grandpa did not like white people. You know, he really didn't. He really didn't. Like so much we couldn't bring white friends over to him because he grew up with the worst of both of it, right? He would get treated like shit by his own people, quote unquote blacks, because they saw him as too light. You know what I mean? And he would get mistreated by whites because he was just a, you know, he was
Yes,
just a light Negro. You get what I mean?
right,
So
exactly,
he was getting jumped and he was having to fight whites and blacks. So he grew up with this embitteredness. You know what I mean?
exactly. So,
And that's what happens. Like,
yeah, bro, it's crazy, man. Like they'll literally like judge you based off your skin tone, but not understand that they disregard that phenotype doesn't matter when you're talking about your lineal descent. Like your ancestors, like let's say for me, for instance, I don't know who my ancestors were way back in the 1300s or the 14 or 1500s, right? So I don't know what else I had in me other than besides native, Spaniard, and African American. I really don't know. But I just want to make one more point before I get into this other one, because this is one of the favorite verses, Jeremiah chapter 14 verse 2. It's crazy. But my older brother, right? He was in the army reserves or whatever. He was there for like 2 3 months. He came back. This man's neck, all the way up to the top of his head, it was about as dark as Judah, right? And naturally, we're light skinned. But when he went to the army reserves, he was outside in the sun so much that his skin turned basically like a dark chocolate color. And And so it's like me, like I always joke around about it. Like I always say, like I need to go outside more, go on a bike or something. I need to get 3 shades darker. Like my skin looking a little too light, looking a little bleached.
I know
But
that's true. No, I mean
it's
like
crazy.
you ever worked an outside job?
Not like a lot, but there were times that I did have to like go outside because I had this job in the summer when in 2015 where it was basically like how people like how do I say it? You know how like when people like they have like plots of land that need selling, and you see like these signs out there that say this land for sale
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I would go and I would put those out. Also, like I would ride my bike everywhere, like around my city, my hometown. There were times I had to walk from my apartment all the way to the gym, and that would be like 2.5 miles away. So I'd be walking every single day, and my skin got a little darker.
Yep. And that's what I was pretty much allude to. Like even me, like I'm pretty light, for whatever terms, and if in the winter I'm even lighter, But
Yeah,
when I'm in the summer, even happens to D, we all get darker, and that's just what it
Yeah,
is.
bro. I get, bro. Like literally, like, cause we have long sleeve shirts for our job, but during the summer we be pulling the sleeves up. So what I'm saying, you'll be outside all day, cleaning windows, and then
oh,
you get home, and then it's a damn line on your arm.
yes, exactly. Yeah, because
Be like
it
three
essentially,
shades.
yeah, exactly, bro. That's exactly how it is with me and my brothers. Like my little brother, Mikey, right? This little boy, like he, out of all my brothers, he has the darkest skin out of all of us. And when like if they were to look at him, they would probably say like he's one of us, and that's a real shit, bro. Like no BS. Like my mom's I remember I mentioned it one time on Judah's channel, and I forgot who it was, but I told him like my mom's dad is African American. Like I've never met him because he passed away before my mom was even born, which is kind of sad. But all my mom's basically brothers and sisters are all in their like 50s and 60s, and she's like early 40s. So basically, she was like the last child of this man. But I have the picture somewhere. But my mom's dad is basically African American, and they know nobody believe me when I tell them like, yo, bro, like I'm dead serious, bro. Like I have that in me. So it makes no sense to me how they can like just tell you like, oh, by looking at your skin, you're a spick, you're a wetback. Because I've been called that a lot on Facebook and even in the Lions Den group chat, right? Because oh, I think I have the video still. Kornath, he was on Naftali's channel one time, and I don't know whether the dude was drunk or not. But those, that dude, the Waters, that always comes on, and he has that like heavy Mexican accent, and he
Yeah,
tries to, that dude. He was on there, and he was explaining something, and Fopi called him a wetback, and I'm like, what the hell? Naftali didn't even tell him like, yo, chill with that. But as soon as he started to get mad and say stuff, then or when Judah was on her channel debating Apostle, and Apostle got bodied on that Jesus topic, right? I remember that. That's a classic. But I think I don't know. Somebody was saying something, and Naftali was telling him to chill, no disrespect or whatever. But she didn't tell Konath anything about calling the Waters a wetback. And I got mad. I'm like, bro, like, what the hell, y'all
You see what
being
I you see what I mean when I was talking about how when the ideology is forced on the people so much that they take it on
yes,
themselves. It's like that's the thing. It's like our people want to try to practice reverse colorism when it's like just stop. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just stop.
man,
I mean, because no matter how hard you want to play the game, we take it harder.
right,
No matter how hard we try to play the game, if for others essentially means nothing. They're just names.
right,
But for
exactly,
us,
bro.
it's an entire experience. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
art, like you get what I'm saying? Like it's not just it's like I don't give a man. I went from living in the hood, being around nothing but quote unquote blacks. You know what I mean?
hmm,
And never having a view of anything else to living in the suburbs and being in classes full of nothing but whites. My first day coming to we had to get out of the city because
yeah,
it's dangerous, and it was a little bit when I was a little further along in my life. So I had developed. I was living in the hood. It was what it was. You was a kid, but
Yeah,
I grew up, and then I went out there, and when the first day I came and I was surrounded by all that, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So growing up, uh, in the hood and in the suburbs, I had to learn how to stop caring so much about that shit because I don't know what it is today, but whites, they don't give a damn about saying nigga, 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 nigga,
yeah,
nigga this,
bro.
nigga that,
They
nigga
have too
this,
much confidence,
my
bro.
nigga, what's up? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They don't give a damn for real. So it was like surprising to me because it's like
ex-
I can't
exactly,
fight
bro.
everybody. I can't be mad at it. I can't hate everybody.
Exactly.
I don't give a damn. And that's what it came to. That's what it comes down to.
Right,
You gotta
exactly.
stop living around. You feel like as a quote unquote black, you feel extra pressured to have to say something. But honestly, it don't matter. It happened to me too many times. Almost fought this white boy, almost fought that white boy, almost fought this Hispanic guy, almost fought this Arab guy.
Yeah.
But and
It,
I just be like, after a while, I'm just like, man, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
right,
matter. I
exactly.
don't care. And that's the biggest thing with our people. And just say one thing about what you said. I had all types of friends, Hispanic friends, I had African friends from Nigeria. It was exchange students and shit. And when we sometimes I would be hanging out with my Hispanic friends, and we all get called the same shit because they don't really like from the outside looking in. It's like they don't really care, both of you or whatever they're calling you that day. Negro, like I've been at work. I had my bucket hat on. I had the two sides up, so it looked like a cowboy hat. I'm
Yeah.
chilling. I'm working. This crew of Hispanic guys. I hadn't had my hair cut for a while. These Hispanic guys came up to me speaking Spanish. I didn't know Spanish, and I said something. I know a little bit. I was like, K, you know what I mean? And I'm like, no, oh my bad, guys. I don't speak Spanish. And it was like, oh,
Damn, that's funny.
so basically it's like, basically it's like, pick a day. You know what I mean? We don't all look the same, but to other people, we all Negroes. You
Right.
all porch monkeys. You all whatever the fuck. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also, like, it's funny, right? Because that dude Marcus that always goes on Judah's channel that subscribes to Judaism and stuff like that. He mentioned one time how like black people can't, so-called black people can't be racist and they're reactionary people. Like that point that he made, I found it like really stupid because when I was a little kid, I remember getting bullied right by because I lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and that city in the hood that I was in is predominantly black folks and little white people, basically no Hispanics at all, right? And I remember on the bus almost every day I was getting bullied, not by a white person, not by a Hispanic, but by other black people. And I always thought like when Marcus mentioned that, I'm thinking that's so motherfucking stupid, bro. By his own logic, if I'm reacting to somebody's racism towards me, that means I'm a black person too. So when he mentioned that, I'm like, dude, that is so illogical because if somebody, right, let's say for instance me, if I came across like a so-called black person who was being racist towards me, and keep in mind I've never met them at all throughout my entire life at all, and they suddenly started being racist towards me, does Marcus mean to tell me that they're being reactionary towards race, towards somebody being racist, so they're going to take the racism out on me even though I've never said anything to them? It makes no sense to me. But
I get what you're saying. You're like experiencing the same discrimination.
yes,
Exactly.
bro, exactly. Like I've
You
experienced discrimination. Like I've lived in the hood. There was a point in my life, like when I was like a young kid, like in second grade, back in like no, not second grade. I think it was like yeah, second or first grade, back in 2004, 2005, where my family, like we were homeless basically. We had to stay in the shelter, right? And so and my stepdad, he sold crack, sold crack cocaine, he sold meth. Like
damn.
so, well, yeah, exactly, bro. So when they tell me like, oh, you don't know about this experience, when like negro-only Israelites on Judas channel, whatever, say you don't know about the black experience, you don't know the struggle, you've never lived it. Like, bro, what the fuck you talking about, bro? I was homeless as a little kid. My stepdad sold crack. Like, Like I don't like.
I know that's the thing. I know the same experience. Like we still with the same stuff. And my
Bro,
mom
like
boyfriend at the time was damn
even
pushing coke. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? So it's like
yes.
nigga. I wanted to say shalom to everybody in the chat.
Oh yeah,
Shalom,
Shalom Judah and I.
birthday lady.
Shalom Judah and I.
Shalom,
Shalom,
Judah,
sister
and I.
I.
Yeah, and real quick, bro. Like even one of my houses that I stayed in, right? Like years ago, it had a hole in the damn floor. Like I could see the dirt that was under the house. Like it wasn't a big hole, but like you could stick like two fingers through it. So like when they tell me like you've never been through this, you don't like, bro. What are you talking about? Like if we're being honest, and if I'm looking at it and I'm being honest, I've lived more of the black experience than I have the so-called Hispanic experience and how they live. Like their hood is called the barrio, and it's bad, yes. But if I'm being honest, I've lived more on lived more and experienced more of the black experience than I have of what you would call like the struggles that Hispanics go through. So when they tell me like all this, I'm like, bro, y'all are fucking stupid. Y'all don't know my life. But
Yeah,
but
I mean
yeah,
they're just assuming
Yeah,
stuff
bro.
based off your look, bro. Because it's just bull. You know, honestly, at the end of the day, it's because like I said, I've had friends in the past, Hispanic friends everywhere. You know what I mean? You like it's like they living in the hood, but it's like you'll talk to them and hang out with them. You'll go to their people's house, and their moms and pops speak Spanish majority. You know what I mean? Or something
yes,
like
yeah,
that. But it's literally no different. Like it's like I'm not saying that everybody's the same, but we have like they was lynching Hispanics and Negroes back in the day, man.
yo, that's facts.
Yeah, bro.
In California, back in like I guess I don't know the '60s or whatever, they were hanging Hispanics in by trees.
One of Mexico's old school Western heroes is a Negro.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot his name.
Gaspar Younger, something like no, that's way back in the 1600s, I think 1700s.
But what I'm getting at is that there were Negro slaves who were translators or interminglers between natives and whites,
Yep.
because a lot of some Negroes learned and lived amongst natives, Hispanics, and they learned their ways and they were able to how should I say translate. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there was this old Negro. He was a sheriff, if I'm not mistaken, or he was as high as he could be, but without being sheriff, because we were Negroes, we couldn't be that high.
Right.
So they didn't even issue him a gun, but he had the most arrests, he had the most captures at the time, and he was able to work alongside native reservations because he grew up with natives and he knew how to speak their language, but he couldn't read or write in English.
Mm.
So what I'm getting at is that everybody we like intermingle, man.
Right. Yo,
I had a bunch of verses too.
real quick before we bring this on, I want to mention one thing, right? Like my Mexican friends, right, back in my hometown, they're darker than me. They're about as dark as dark, like couple of them, right? They're about as dark as Yuzi, and they're calling me the N word, but they're as dark as you. And here's another funny part. Like it's not funny to me. Like at the time, I was offended. Like, but I knew they were joking, but me, like I was still offended. They kept making like this mockery of slavery, right? They kept saying, "Oh, your people were enslaved," blah blah blah, right? Talk about the slavery back in the 1600s, like on the eastern coast of the United States. And I'm like, bro, you're so dumb. Aztecs were slaves as well. And then he was laughing like, no, they weren't. No, they weren't. So I had to Google this shit to show the dumbass, like, look, idiot. And then he was like, "Oh," he didn't say nothing afterwards. So I'm like, they were calling me this because they seen those features inside me and my little brother's face. So when Negro only Israelites, Fopi and all them whatever, tell me that you don't know what it's like, I'm like, bro, if I were to tell you all the shit that I've been through and seen and experienced and heard, y'all wouldn't be telling me that. Like y'all would shut the hell up because you really don't know. And
Exactly.
they're all basing this off their this preconceived notion that everything has to be black only, and that doesn't make any sense because it never was like how the hell do they know the Israelites in the 700 AD period 1,300 years ago weren't mixing? It don't make
Man,
any sense.
what
Bro,
about
they don't,
Cubans?
bro. That's why that doctrine is like is bugged out, bro. Cause bro, like Moses' children, they weren't. You can't even, bro. He had a Cushite wife. Joseph had an Egyptian wife. Even Simeon had a Canaanite wife. Like Ruth was a Moabite. Like, come on now, we was always mixed. Like it's bugged out.
For simply, honestly,
and the same dudes or the same people who be teaching that damn negro-only doctrine be talking about Africa. And it's like, bro, we're not no damn Africans. I ain't a damn African. I ain't no Hemite. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro.
exactly. I mean, like, man, I had a verse I did want to get to real quick though. This is going to be Joshua chapter 22. I'm gonna start at verse 26. Uh, jo- Joshua chapter 22, verse 26.
You know, we pull it up.
Yeah, if you like to. And the point I'm bringing up with this is, I mean, you'll kind of get the point when I bring it up, but even in the land, the peoples had different plots of land inheritances. You know what I mean? And because of that, they just lived in different areas for extended periods of time, right?
You said Joshua what, bro?
22, 22, 26.
I got a verse to you, bro.
Word. Oh. And basically, because of their different, places, and because they were different tribes, I think I have reason to believe, as well as some of the other brothers, that they just didn't all come out to be the same phenotype. They just didn't. They weren't like freaking high elves in Skyrim. They didn't all look the same. All right.
Yo, you play Skyrim, bro? Yo, that game is so crazy because the Imperials look like Romans.
Exactly. It's all
Yeah.
influenced by something. But verse 26, it says, well, I'm gonna read it from mine while it's on the screen. It says, "Therefore we said, let us do this for ourselves, to build the altar, not for elevation offering and nor for sacrifice, but so that it will be a witness between us and you and our generations after us, to perform the service of Yahweh before him with our elevation offerings and with our offerings and with our peace offerings. Then your children will not say to our children in the future, you have no share in Yahweh." Right? They put this is when the children of Reuben, the children of Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh erected these remembrance altars to for their future generations to remember to perform the service of Yahweh, right? And because they lived across the Jordan, their land inheritance was they inherited it from Moses across the Jordan. It was a remembrance so that all the other all the other Israelites and the tribes on the other side, their children want to come over there and look at those people, be like, those aren't Israelites. They're not our family. They're not us. They're not us. No, it was a witness, right? And that's what the altar that they erected for, not for elevation offerings. You know what I mean? But for a remembrance that they are Israel and that we are brothers and sisters. So that was close. That was closer. That was even in the land. You know what I'm saying? And in my mind, it has part to do with them possibly not looking the same in the future. You know what I mean? So
Con.
I wanted to bring that point out.
Oh. Okay. Whenever you're. Oh wait. Are you done or you still gonna go?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, yeah,
I
go
had a
ahead.
verse. I had a verse.
Oh, he's going. My bad.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I wanted to go to that. It's 35. Right. This Genesis 35. I'm sorry, verse 10. it says, and God said to him, your name is Jacob. Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel shall be your name. And he named him Israel, right? Verse 11. And God said to him, I am the Almighty God, right? Or El Shaddai. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a multitude of nations shall come into existence from you, and kings shall come forth from your loins, right? So it says, farah, fruitful, walk, rabah, and multiply. Galway, right? Which means nation, or Galway, or like nations. Walk, Quahal, if I'm not mistaken, I think Quahal means. Right there with me. It's like a congregation or like an assembly. Like an assembly or like a congregation of nations. Goyam. Right? And like now, Mama Mock, like from your, like from you, Wa, Malakayam, and Kings, Ma, Kalat Zayak, Yak, Zayal. It's like, come forth, like your loin. Right?
Khan.
So, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Yak. But it said a multitude of nations got way, right? Like different nations. So it means the 12 tribes can't look the same. All of them don't look the same.
Exactly, bro. They can never prove that. They can never prove that there's thousands of Negro Israelites in Japan. They can't prove that there's thousands of Negro Israelites in China, in goddamn Russia, in India, Burma, Bangladesh, Afghanistan. They can't prove it. So that just lets you know that not all Israelites are dark skinned.
Khan. Salak, Kalat, which means like, it's Ma, which means like from or like with. Kalat Zayak,
Yeah.
right? Which means like your loins. Yat Zayal, like they come forth. Or like Yat Zay means to like go or like to go forth. Or like to come forth, right? So, like a multitude of nations, right? And it said, be fruitful and multiply, which means rabah, which means to increase. Now I'm gonna go to slide bear with me. I'm gonna go to it might be Genesis 48. Let's see. 3. Right, verse 3. And Jacob said to Joseph, right, El Shaddai appeared to me in Luz in the land of Canaan, and he blessed me. And he said to me, behold, I will make you fruitful and cause you to multiply. And I will make you into a congregation of peoples. And I will give this land to your seed after you for an everlasting inheritance. Everlasting inheritance. Right? Right? It says, La Quahal Amayam. Which means like a congregation or like an assemblage of peoples. And then get like to give the land, right? And then also wanted to go to this is oh, give me one second. It's I'm gonna go to what is it? Genesis. Genesis 40. I think it's 46. It might be 46. Verse 10. Right? Verse 10. And the sons of Simeon were Jemuel, Yamin, Ohad, Jakin, and Zohar. and saw the son of the Canaanites, the son of a Canaanite woman, Wa Sawa'el Ban Ha Ha Kana'anayath, right? Son of a Canaanitess or a Canaanite woman.
And who was Saul, right? He was the first king of Yasharal.
Come on.
First king.
Exactly, but his mother was a heathen. Yet, according to Konat the Fopi, if your dad's an Israelite, your mother's a heathen, you're not an Israelite.
And they would be disrespecting Saul. And even
Right.
David didn't go as far as to disrespect Saul because he knew to be anointed in that way, the first to be anointed in that way. That's not a spot that anyone else will ever have.
Right.
That's not a, you know what I mean? That's like a very special thing. And to even
Exactly.
speak against the anointed one, or not, so like not the anointed one. Well, yeah, that too. But even to speak against the king that was anointed first, that's like a death sentence.
Exactly, bro.
He didn't,
Ex-
you know what I mean? So it's like Saul was very tall, right? Very tall. Are all Negroes very tall?
no. Kevin Hart's 5'5". I'm taller than him.
Right, bro? Hold on. Let me find it.
Shalom to the chat. And
Hey, Shalom,
hey, what's good,
Shalom.
Malik? Hey man, nice to see you. I'm happy you showed up to the stream.
Hey, Shalom, bro. Who is it? Right? This is this Genesis 38, verse 2, right? And there Judah saw the daughter of a merchant named, right, Shawa'ah. And he took her and came to her, right? And she conceived and bore a son, and he named him And she conceived again and bore a son, and she named him Onan. Once again she bore a son, and she named him Shelah. And he, Judah, was in Kazib when she gave birth to him, right? So, hold on, we're gonna get this word real quick. Strong 777. Wait, what? A Canaanite woman that had Judah had 3 children?
Damn, son. That's crazy, bro. Also,
Well, 2 of them died because they were wicked.
oh yeah, that's right, that's right. Also,
But
to back up your
Shelah was
point,
still, you know what I'm saying? He was left
right?
alive.
And to back up your point as well, bro. Um, like Negro only Israelites went from saying all Canaanites are black to saying some Canaanites are light skinned. So going by their logic, if Israelites got with Hamites and they mixed with some Canaanites, who's to say that those Canaanites that the Israelites mixed with weren't light skinned and those children that the Israelites had weren't also of a lighter tone?
Exactly. I mean, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken,
bro.
David was picked on by his brothers because he wasn't as tall as they were, and he was lighter tone.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Hey, Con. Hold on, I got a few more verses. We're gonna go to Judges. Judges chapter 2. Right? I know Judah brought this out before. Chapter 2, verse 11. Right? Verse 11. And the children of Israel did that which was evil in the eyes of Yahweh, and they served the Baalayam. Right? And they forsook the God of their forefathers who had brought them up from the land of Egypt, and they went after other gods of the nations that were around them, and they bowed to them and provoked Yahweh. Right? Hold on. I think the verse. So the verse I'm going to. No, that's it. That's it. That's it. Right? So it says, and they forsook Yahweh and served the Baal and the Ashtaroth. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers, and they spoiled them. And he gave them over into the hands of their enemies around, and they could no longer stand before their enemies. Right?
That's facts,
And then,
bro.
hold on, give me 1 second. I'm trying to get to this one verse. I think it might be chapter 3. All right, they went after the gods of others, right? And remember, the nation, right? The nations of the land, they were left in order to test Israel. Oh, here it is, verse 5, right? Well, actually, verse 4. And they were to test through them Israel, to know whether they would obey the commandments of Yahweh, which he had commanded their forefathers through Moses. Verse 5. And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And they took their daughters to themselves for wives, and their own daughters they gave to their sons and served their gods. Right? So they took their daughters for them, right, to themselves for wives, and their own daughters they gave to their sons and served their gods. Right? Right? Verse 7. Which means they intermarried. And the children of Israel did that which displeased Yahweh, and forgot Yahweh their God, and served the Baalim and the Ashtaroth. Right? We're going to go down to verse. Right? Verse 8. I'm just going to continue on. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Israel, and he gave them over into the hands of Kashan Rishatayam, king of Aram Naharayam, and the children of Israel served Kashan Rishatayam 8 years. Captivity, 8 years. And the children of Israel cried out to Yahweh, and Yahweh raised up a savior to the children of Yashael to save them. Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's brother, who was younger than he. So it said, and the children of Israel cried out to Yahweh. Right? Now I know brothers be liking to use Ezra where he sent them away, but in this instance, they weren't sent away. It called them the children of Israel after they had even made it with the Canaanites. Exactly. And the other nations. It called them the children of Israel.
Con, bro. And that's right? The thing. That's crazy. Even though they mixed, they were still counted.
Right. And verse 10, right? And the spirit of Yahweh came upon him, and he judged Israel, and he went out to war, and Yahweh delivered into his hands Kashan Rishatayam, the king of Aram, and his hand prevailed upon Kashan Rishatayam, right? So, come on, man. It's like, bro, the doctrine is bugged out. Hold on, I got like a couple more verses, and we're gonna go to.
I just wanted to comment on what you were saying. You beat him over the head with this pretty good, because it's like, even like the brother said, and like Jeremiah's agreed to, even after the fact that they had sinned in that way, they're still Israelites. You know what I mean? And they were still counted. You know what I'm saying? So it draws into a question a lot of people who prioritize, you know, Ezra's account over the natural progression of our history.
That's facts, bro. I don't understand people. It's crazy.
Facts,
and
bro.
To reiterate, the point of this video, we were talking about various topics, but this was the main topic. It's like a negro-only doctrine. You know what I mean? There's a doctrine going around in Yasharal amongst our people that only blacks are Israelites, and we're dispelling that in truth. That this, you know, because it disserves the people by compartmentalizing their thought process. If you read, multiple of our patriarchs had foreign wives. You know what I mean? And that's not to say you have to have a foreign wife. That's to say that the lineage or the C line follows through the father. And that's just what it is.
That's facts, bro.
Come on, bro.
Goddamn.
And then hold on, where is it? Oh yeah. Okay. So right, I'm gonna start at verse. We start at verse 4, right? And they married Moabite women, one named Orpah, the other one named Ruth, and they dwelt there for about 10 years, right? And both Mahlon Chalion also died, and the woman was left bare of her 2 children and of her husband. Now she arose with her daughters-in-law and returned from the fields of Moab, for she had heard in the field of Moab that Yahweh had remembered his people to give them bread, right? Because during time of a famine. Then she sent forth from the place where she had been, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the road to return to the land of Judah. Right? Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, Go, return each woman to her mother's house. May Yahweh deal kindly with you as you have dealt with the deceits with, and with me. Right? Now we're going to skip down. And verse 11. And Naomi said, Return, my daughters. Why should you go with me? Have I yet sons in my womb, and they should be your husbands? Return, my daughters, go, for I have become too old to marry, that I should say that I have hope, even if a husband tonight, and even if I have born sons. Right? Now, I'm trying to get. Let me go down. And verse 16. And Ruth said, Do not entreat me to leave you, to return from following you. For wherever you go, I will go, and wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Right? So she turned away from the traditions, whatever her people was doing, which she was a Moabite, so they was all into all, you know what I'm saying? Just they got our people to turn away and everything, right? But she forsook her people way, and you know what I'm saying, cling to Yahweh or cling to Israel, and then
Facts.
right, and dudes be like, oh, Ruth was an Israelite. She was not an Israelite, and I'm about to show you. This is verse 2, right?
Hey, real quick.
Chapter 2.
Fopi ran from that debate.
Bro, they ran from like 8 debates.
They might be thinking of Esther. I mean Naomi Salat. Hold on, no, wasn't Naomi?
Now Naomi was Israelite.
No, I think they're getting Ruth mixed up with the book of Esther. You know what I mean? That's just reading.
I don't know, bro, but they ran from that debate though.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, I don't get it. Well, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you good, bro.
So then, goddamn, real quick, Kornak and Shasham talking about they got 1,000 pages of information. If you got 1,000 pages of information on this negro-only stuff, why are you afraid to debate it? Why you run from it, bro? What's wrong? And it makes no sense. Like, you have that much information, yet you ran from the Torah Knights, bro. The people you consider below you ran from us.
Because it's an emotionally backed doctrine or idea rather than a information based idea. It's more so emotionally based.
Facts, bro.
Right. Facts, bro. And I remember Sham was like, we got the same books y'all be reading. We got this, we got that. Well, bro, to me, it don't look like you studying it. Because if you did, you wouldn't be talking about no Christ. And you won't be talking about Negro-only. Israel's all Negroes. All the 12 tribes are Negroes. Which, bro, it can't be. Bro, all 12 tribes are not Negroes.
Right, bro. Look, here's the thing. Sham claims he has the Tanakhs and the stones and all that, right? But their main version is the KJV. And what's funny is that if I bet they agreed that the Song of Songs is about Israel being black, right? Song of Songs 1-5-6, right? Well, if they were to read the KJV version, they're gonna get what they want from it. But if they read the Stones edition Tanakh or any other Tanakh, right? Any other Old Testament Torah that's like the Stones or the Koren Tanakh, whatever, it's not gonna say that. It's gonna say I am black with sin. and it's gonna cut their whole shit. But they don't want to read from the Stones Tanakh. They want to read from the KJV that establishes their point.
And that's crazy. You think all of Solomon's kids look the same?
Right.
No,
Didn't Solomon have multiple wives, bro?
no. You know what I mean? Like he had children with every nation. Like he had wives from every nation.
Facts,
He had a lot
bro.
of children.
That's a fact,
Facts, bro.
Even Abraham. Abraham had
bro. Oh my
other
God.
children.
Yes. You know what's funny? This is just Amos chapter 9 verse 7, bro. They constantly think that that's like Israel look like the Cushites. Like that verse is not saying what they wanted to say when you actually read it in context. Because when you read, I don't even want to mention, I don't want to give it away, never mind. But yeah, they're actually wrong on that, and they don't realize it. Like Sharsham claims he knows Hebrew, he knows this and that, he knows it fluently, like that modern Hebrew, whatever. Even the modern Hebrew is gonna cut him because when you read, was it? I think it's Jeremiah 14:2. When you read that word right there, black in Hebrew, or according modern Hebrew or whatever, it's gonna say that it means cause to mourn, sadness. So like I mentioned earlier, way in the beginning, colors and metals could denote a person's physical state or spiritual state. So Shams actually shoots himself in the foot because they won't admit it, bro. And that's the crazy thing. No matter how much, like you tell them, like, bro, you're wrong. It doesn't matter if you know quote unquote Hebrew or Yahweh Dayat or whatever. It doesn't matter what versions you have. The very versions of the Bible that you have can be used against you. Like I have the same versions they have. I got the KJV. I got New Chains Reference. I got the Oxford Annotated Bible. That like I got many different versions. So like, there's nothing they can really tell me like, bro, like stop it. You're stupid.
You remember? I forgot what book it was, but where it talks about I think it talks about Ephraim being like a cake unturned.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they ever use, and don't take it physical. Am I right?
Oh my
I'm not
god,
saying
bro.
it's physical, but what
Yeah.
I'm getting at is that like out of all the Israel's face shall not wax pale now. You think that's talking about skin color? Like you think that's talking about like like literal phenotype? It's not talking about your emotional state. But when it talks about Ephraim being like a cake unturned, you wanna get all super deep and like, oh well, you see when because it's like that, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, exactly,
I'm
bro.
that actually that's crazy to me.
Right.
Hey,
So
Hold on, brother
Shalom,
Brian.
Hermione. Shalom, bro.
they what they do, they're picking and choosing which verses they want to get spiritual with. It doesn't
Exactly.
make any sense, man.
Exactly.
Don't, bro. It don't, bro. Don't make no sense, bro. It's so many. It's so many doctrines, like, bro. And that's why I want to do the famine video, bro. Because it's like, remember in Amos it said there would be a famine, not for water nor for bread, but to hear the word of Yahweh, right? So, like these dudes, like these, you know what I'm saying, whoever putting out these false doctrines, they're not giving the people anything to, like, to nourish them, or, you know what I'm saying, to like
Oh,
to improve their mind. So with the lacking of the Torah or the teachings, you become parched, and
facts.
you don't have any lakam or bread or manna. You know what I'm saying, to improve the state of your thinking or your mind state. You're still stupid.
Con, bro. Con. Also, this is what I find so funny, right? They're negro-only Israelites. They deny the 12 tribes chart, but say that they are Judah and Levi. If you deny the 12 tribes chart and you're a Negro only Israelite, going by your logic, you have to now say that the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi are not African Americans, Jamaicans, and Haitians. According to their logic, they would have to deny that. But they're Sharsham, Konab, Yavin, all of them on Phobia are claiming Judah and Levi. But they deny the 12 tribe chart. Yet, without the 12 tribe chart, you would never say you're Judah or Levi.
Exactly.
Right, bro. Yeah,
And I
man.
get
Yeah,
so like I
bro.
get exactly the point that you're getting at there. You know what I mean? I mean, we consider ourselves to be, whatever tribe, honestly. But
Hmm.
at the same time, we feel like we're more likely probably one of those tribes
Right.
because of the Dead Sea Scrolls. You know what I mean? Because of
Con, con.
the last remaining Israelites that were in the land at that time. and they would have been exiled together. And I'm not saying that it all stuck together like glue, but that will be the basis for our idea behind that. You know what I mean? But it's not concrete. We're not walking around like we're this, definitely that. This, you know what I mean? It's just
Right.
like everybody has their own experience.
Oh, yo, here's a crazy thing I just thought about right now. Okay, so they're messianic. They subscribe to the New Testament, right? Jesus's mother and father supposedly were of two different tribes, and Sharshan mentioned on their live one time that Judah is supposed to be with Judah, Levi is supposed to be with Levi, this and that, right? And they're basically mixed, right? And according to them, Christ's lineage going all the way back to David, supposedly he has like a Moabite or Ammonite in his lineage, and in his lineage, I think is a Canaanite as well, right? So according to their own logic, their beloved Christ is not an Israelite; he's a Mamzer.
Exactly. They use the same exact argument. Oh, hey, Shalom, brother Avanya.
Hey, Shalom.
Shalom,
Hey,
shalom.
how you been, bro?
How you doing, brother?
Shalom, y'all. What's going on with y'all, man?
We we breaking down some of this this Israel being a homogenous set of people doctrine. Um there's a lot of brothers and sisters, you know, amongst our community that consider, you know, only
I
blacks.
got you. Keep going, bro.
You know.
Yeah, bro. Hey, I wanted to finish these verses real quick. I got like 3 more, and that's about
Word.
it. Cause you know what I'm saying. Folk also said that we conquered the land of Moab when it said we shall not disturb the borders of Moab or Ammon. And I'm gonna show you right. But hold on, I'm gonna finish this real quick.
Exactly, bro. Like, because during the time of Abraham and Lot, when they separated the little parts of land and they chose what they wanted, um, I don't know if it's in that I can't remember the exact verse verbatim, but from that point on, when the Israelites came out of Egypt, right, they wouldn't take the Moabites or Ammonites land because it was basically given to their uncle, their ancestral like uncle. So they wouldn't be stealing basically from their family or whatever.
Right. And plus, they wouldn't even let us pass Moab or Edom.
Right, exactly.
Right. Right. So watch this. It says, and Boaz said to Ruth. I'm sorry. And Boaz said to Ruth, "Have you not heard, my daughter? Do not go to the slot. Do not go to glean in another field. Neither shall you go away from here, and here shall you stay with my maidens. Your eyes shall be on the field they reap, and you shall follow them. Have I not ordered the youth not to touch you? And if you are thirsty, you may go to the vessels and drink from that which the youth draw." Right? Verse 10. And she fell on her face and prostrated herself to the ground, and she said to him, "Why have I pleased you that you should take cognizance of me, seeing that I am a foreigner?" Foreigner, right? It says, "Wa in the K, and I am Nakaraya, a foreigner." Now let's go see what Nakar means. Nakar, right? To act, Strong's 5235, but you know it has multiple definitions. To act or treat as foreign or strange, right? Or to disguise, right? If I'm mistaken, I think it's should be oh another woman delivered, disguised, made an alien, misjudged, pretended to be another woman. We don't want this one right here. It's not. Foreign, that which is foreign, foreignness, an alien, foreign, foreigner, strange, foreignness of another family, tribe, or nation. Like, come on, man. She was a foreigner. She wasn't an Israelite. But she forsook her people's ways. Now, with that, I'm gonna go to we're gonna go to Deuteronomy 2. I mean, Deuteronomy 2, verse 9. Right. verse Deuteronomy 2, verse 9. And Yahweh said to me, do not distress the Moabites, and do not provoke them to war. For I will not give you any of their land as an inheritance, because I have given Ar to the children of Lot as an inheritance, which children of Lot is Moab and Ammon, right? I shall not give you their land as an inheritance. Now, if you go to verse 17, right? So it was when all the men of war finished dying from among the people that Yahweh spoke to me, saying, today you are crossing the boundary of Moab at Ar. And when you approach opposite the children of Ammon, neither distress them nor provoke them. For I will not give you of the land of the children of Ammon as an inheritance, because I have given it to the children of Lot as an inheritance. Right? So we their land cannot be an inheritance for us. So we did not conquer that land. Now, if we go back to Judges. Go back to Judges verse 11. Chapter 11. Chapter 11. Chapter 11. Verse 11. It says, and Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people appointed him a head and chief over them. And Jephthah spoke all his words before Yahweh in Mizpah. Right? Hold on, I want to get right. It says, because Let's start from verse 15. And he said to him, so said Jephthah, Israel did not take the land of Moab and the land of the children of Ammon. Right? Because when they came from Egypt and Israel went through the wilderness up to the Red Sea, and they came to Kadesh, right? And they came to Kadesh. And Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom saying, let me pass now through your land. And the king of Edom did not listen. And also to the king of Moab he sent, and he was unwilling, and Israel abode in Kadesh. Right? And they went through the wilderness and went around the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and they came to the east of the land of Moab, and they encamped on the other side of the Arnon, and they did not come within the border of Moab, for the Arnon was the border of Moab. They said they did not come within the border. So come on now, bro. That doctrine is bugged out.
Facts, bro. Oh man.
Damn, that's crazy. I mean, and just to clear that up for anybody that doesn't understand, they're saying that she was an Israelite from the land of Moab or something like that. You know what I mean? But we never even conquered that land.
Plus, there's no if you want to look at it historically, there's no secular history on Israel ever conquering the land of the so-called Moab.
Right?
Exactly, like we have the Armana letters, right? Which is where the Canaanites, they sent letters to what the Egyptian king, saying, like, in layman's terms, like, can you help us, because there's some people here trying to take our land. And that correlates exactly with the conquest of Canaan.
Didn't the king of Moab sacrifice his son or something like that?
Yeah, in 2 Kings chapter 3, if I'm not mistaken. And in that same chapter, if I'm correct or not, some people or some like Kemet dudes will say, "Oh, the Moabite God beat your God." No, it did not. If they read that exact chapter in context, the Most High definitely gave the lands that the Israelites were attacking over to them, but they didn't take over the Moabites' land.
Because the Most High wasn't going to give it to us.
Yes, exactly. The Most High never gave them the Moabites' land, but since the king of Moab sacrificed his son, the last verse says that the children of Israel departed from that event, and they went back to their hood. Basically, they didn't attack Moab. Now they'll say, in the way I see it, like, I don't know, maybe like how do I say, like, I guess they saw what the king of Moab did, and they were like, "Oh snap!" Like so, they didn't want to do it. That's just one way of looking at it. But when you look at it in the earlier chapters of the Torah, the Most High never gave their land, gave the Moabites land to the Israelites, and that transcended throughout time and history, in the time of Israel. So they didn't take over Moab.
Right, bro. It said Ammon too. Neither one of them.
Exactly, bro.
Hey, Shalom, Judah. Yeah, bro. But
I
bro,
did have
go ahead,
this
bro.
one verse I wanted to get out in Jeremiah. Oh, cause I ain't even go fake it. It's getting a little late, and your boy getting a little heavy eyed.
Nah, please.
So I did have this verse I wanted to get to and a couple more, but I'm not gonna go through them one at a time. Uh, I'm gonna just read this one off. This is gonna be Jeremiah 3, chapter 18. It says, "In those days, the house of Judah will walk with the house of Israel, and they will come together from the land of the north to the land that I've given them as a possession to your fathers." Right? Pretty simple sentence. You know what I mean? Like, we're not in our land, but we are together in exile. You know what I mean? Uh, but it distinctified Judah between Israel because at a certain part of our history, the nation split up like that. And the point of me getting out this verse is that we came to we split apart. We're exiled at different times, at different rates. But somehow the Most High has brung us together in our, exile, and He's going to bring us both the nations, both parts of the
Khan.
nations, back to the land. So I don't know exactly what brothers' whole deal is with the whole, you know what I mean? And like I said, I
Yeah.
think it's emotional based, but when we gotta stop, you know, being so jaded by that,
Right.
and just look at what it is.
Hey yo, real quick. I want to. Hey Judah, if you're listening, bro, if you're listening, I want you to hear this. I played this earlier. Look, listen. This is funny.
So maybe you're actually saying, well, who was the first person to describe Ma'at? And I'm going to honestly say to you, we don't know. We don't actually know.
So Judah, if you're listening, that was basically Jabari saying, the first person to describe Ma'at, he doesn't know who it was. So if they're gonna say that Kemet, or no, that the Torah was copied off of Egyptian stuff, and the Ten Commandments are copied off of Ma'at, they're gonna have to say who the first person to even describe Ma'at even was. If you're listening, yeah, I'm gonna send it in the group chat, bro. It's some funny shit. I came across it like randomly today while I was playing. I was playing goddamn Assassin's Creed, and I was waiting for the shit to load, right? So I was just flipping through YouTube, and I just came across the random video. I'm like, who the hell is this? I'm like, oh shit, it's Jabari, that little bald-headed skinwalker looking dude.
I
So
ain't gonna
yeah,
fake it. His head is very spherical.
yo, not even gonna lie. Yes, it is. Like when that, like I don't. It sounds wrong even talking about somebody behind their back like this, but when that dude smiles, the corners of his mouth go to his ears, and his teeth get real long, like a skinwalker's. It's like it's
Oh
creepy.
damn!
Bro, that's that nervous laugh when
Uh,
your doctor getting beat up. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? You know what I'm saying? You start sweating.
God damn, that's funny, bro. That's some
Yeah,
funny shit.
I had a verse real quick too. This this Ezekiel 34. I'm gonna start at verse 20. It says, "Therefore, thus said Adonai Yahweh to them: Behold, I am here, and I shall judge between robust lamb and famished lamb." Right. So the robust lamb would be like the you know what I'm saying, the people making money off our people. Like the false leaders, the false teachers, all that, the self-proclaimed leaders. You know what I'm saying? So that would be like the robust lamb, just taking and not giving anything to the people. As far as like Jabari, who's charging $7,000 to go to Ghana and Egypt when you got to get the death shot. You know what I'm saying? So basically, like you selling your soul.
Right.
That's what it is. And teaching. You know, he's a Kemetic priest, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you're not teaching the people nothing. Ain't nobody learned nothing, and you charging people like $600 for a course. And we just heard a clip of you saying we don't know. You don't know who started my. But you a Kemetic priest, right? And it says,
Yo,
and the famished lamb. You know, the ones who giving the money, they think they is going for a good cause, but they not getting nothing out of it.
Con.
It says, because you push with flank and shoulder, and you gore all the frail ones with your horns until you have scattered them away. So I will save my sheep, and they will no longer be for spoils, and I will judge between lamb and lamb. I will establish over them a single shepherd, and he will tend them, my servant David. He will tend them, and he will be a shepherd unto them. And I, Yahweh, will be a God to them, and my servant David a prince among them. I, Yahweh, have spoken. I will seal a covenant of peace with them and abolish evil beasts from the land, and they will dwell securely in the wilderness and sleep in the forest. Then I will make them and the surroundings of my hill into a blessing, and I will bring rain. Bear with me. And I will bring rain in its time. They will be rains of blessing. Remember, rain, you know, refreshing, renewing, you know, teaching. The tree of the field will yield its fruit, and the earth will yield its produce, and they will be secure upon the land, right? And then they will know that I am Yahweh when I break the rods of their yoke and rescue them from the hand of those who enslave them. And they will no longer be spoils for the nations, and the beasts of the land will no longer devour them. They will dwell securely, and none will make them afraid. I will establish for them a planting of renown, and they will no longer be decimated by famine in the land, and they will no longer bear shame of the nations. Right? They will no longer be decimated by famine or lacking of, you know, things to feed the spirit or the mind, you know, to improve it. Right? And also they will no longer bear the shame of nations. The word is awak, which also means shame, but it's like iniquity or wickedness or you know sin. And then it says of the nations. Then they will know that I am Yahweh, their God, and with them, and that they are my people, the house of Yashael, the word of Adonai Yahweh. But it was Salah. I wanted to get this part right here. It says, I meant to start from verse 17. It says, and as for you, my sheep, thus said Adonai Yahweh, behold, I am judging between lamb and lamb, and the rams and the he goats. Is it not enough for you that you graze in a good pasture, that you must also trample the rest of your pasture underfoot? Is it not enough that you drink settled waters, that you must also befoul the rest with your feet? Right? So it's like, you know, the word for befoul is if I'm not mistaken, I think it's quarash. It's a lot, bro. So it's ruffash, which means to befoul, right? Or to royal water, which is like roil. Now, hold on, let me see. Right? It means, you know, let's see what royal means. Let me go to Google. Oh, I just want a definition. Right? So to roil means to make a liquid cloudy or turbid by stirring up dregs or sediment. Or it said trample with your feet with to befoul, which means to make it muddy, right? As agitated or disturbed. Right? to royal water, which means to make it muddy. Now, if we go to Strong, bear with me. Give me 1 second. One second. If you go to Strong's 77515, right? To foul or trouble, or to trouble the waters, right? Or to royal water, or to foul or to trouble it. But it means like to stir up dirt, or you know what I'm saying, to muddy the water, right? These niggas trying to take you to the Nile, bro. They trying to take you to the Nile. It's like, come on, man. That's tainted water.
It's a bad water source, yes.
Facts. Right? And it says, is it not enough that you drink settled waters, that you must also befoul the rest with your foot? And my flock, must they graze the tramplings of your feet and drink the befoulment of your feet? It's like, come on. And like, slot. When it says, like, graze the tramplings of your feet, it's like a, you know what I'm saying? It's like a pasture. It's like to graze. You know what I'm saying? You know, where like the flock grazes. But it's also like, you know, it's like food. You know what I'm saying? It's like food to restore you. But it said they trample it, which means they, you know what I'm saying, they leave none for, they just take and leave none for, you know what I'm saying, the nation. They just take and don't give, you know what I'm saying, don't give the people anything. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that out real quick.
I just want to say, I think it's almost time for us to start wrapping it up a little bit.
Yes, sir. And my battery about to die anyways on my phone. I can't find my charger.
Word up. It's been a great discussion, and I really enjoyed it. I did want to bring out my last little point here. This is going to be Jeremiah. This all fits together, right? Okay. This is going to be Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 15. I shall cast. Oh, okay. I'm gonna start at 14. I shall do to the temple upon which my name is proclaimed, upon which you place your trust, and to this place that I've given you, and to your fathers, as I did as Shiloh. I shall cast you from my presence, as I cast all your brethren, all the seed of Ephraim. This is the Most High talking to Judah about the terrible things they were doing with the temple and everything, and he's telling them that he's going to cast them from his presence, as he did Ephraim. Okay, this does two things. It shows that Ephraim and as well as, if I'm not mistaken, the other tribes that were around them were cast and scattered before Judah. You know, and or I guess you can say the northern kingdom was scattered before Judah, right? And that Judah was also scattered, right? I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go over to Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. It says, "You will be forced to withdraw from your heritage that I have given you, and I will enslave you to your enemies in a land that you knew not. For you have ignited a fire in my wrath, and it will burn forever." Right? All right. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go all the way over to Zechariah. Now, the point of me reading that, those were obviously to show that not just Judah, but also Israel scattered abroad, right? And this is what we have to look forward to, in a sense. Zechariah chapter 10, verse 3. My anger, yeah, verse 3. My anger is against the shepherds, and I will punish the he goats. For Yahweh, Master Allegiance, has remembered his flock, the house of Judah, and he will make them like a horse whose glory is in war, right? From themselves the cornerstone, from themselves the peg, from themselves the bow of war. From themselves all the leaders will come forth together. They will be like warriors trampling their enemies in the mud of the streets in the war. They will wage war, for Yahweh will be with them, and their enemies, and the enemy riders of horses will be put to shame. I will give power to the house of Judah, and I will save the house of Joseph. I will settle them, for I will have mercy upon them, and they will be as if I had not rejected them, for I am Yahweh their God, and I will answer them. Ephraim will be like a mighty warrior, their heart will be glad as with wine. Their children will see and be glad, and their heart will rejoice in Yahweh. I will whistle to them and gather them, for I have redeemed them, and they will become as numerous as they have been numerous. I had sown them among the nations, and they remember me in faraway places. So they will live with their children, and they will return. I will bring them back from the land of Egypt. I will gather them in from Assyria. I will bring them I will bring them to the land of the Gilead in Lebanon. There will not be enough room for them. Misfortune will pass through the sea, and God will strike the waves in the sea. All the deep waters of the rivers will dry up. The pride of Assyria will be brought down, and the staff of Egypt will depart. I will give Israel power through Yahweh, and they will walk with his name, the word of Yahweh. Hallelujah. The Most High is going to bring all the nation. Bring all of the nation. He's going to give power to each, to all the nation. You know what I mean? Not just Judah, but Ephraim, but Joseph, like northern kingdom and southern kingdom. You know what I mean? And they together are gonna fight against their enemies and also return unto the Holy Land. And that's the point that I'm getting at, is that we're scattered. So I read you the beginning, where the Most High, well, not the beginning, but where the Most High scattered us. And then I read you Zechariah, where the Most High says he's going to bring us back from all the scattered lands. And it's important that we know that, because that goes to show that we're not all in the same place. We're not all the same. Simple.
Facts, bro. Hey, yo.
Um,
Go ahead, bro.
no. No, go ahead. After you're done, I'm gonna show this picture of my mom and my brothers, and I want like we look like it's crazy, but go ahead, say what you're gonna say. I'm gonna look for the picture real quick.
No, come on. I just wanted to. I wanted to show y'all something real quick. Right? Bro. These niggas is fucking. These niggas is bro, faking jacks. But yeah. I was gonna share my screen real quick. Remember, Judah brought this up yesterday, but you know what I'm saying? How Jabari is scamming people, talking about, right? So this is all I want to bring up, right? Register now. It say $3,000, bro. Look, bro. CometicYogaSkill.com? What the hell? Bro, the history making tour will be curated by scholars, historians, and Kemetic priests, Master Yizar Rahotep, Jabari Osaze, and Anika Osaze of the Center of the Restoration of Ma'at. This is the first tour of its kind focusing on history, cultural, spiritual science, and Kemetic yoga.
What the? Hold on, yo,
What the
Yoga
hell?
fire.
yo. I
Bro,
know true yoga. It stems from some weird Hindu magic shit,
exactly.
and what I can't remember what it is, but those chakras.
Yeah,
The
bro.
last one is in your butthole, bro.
Bro, it's the same thing, bro. It's the same
Kundalini.
thing as Kabbalah, bro. It all stems from the same shit, right? It
It's the
says
linguini
mysteries,
spirit.
right? Right. It's the right Nakash, what like serpent energy, or like what I'm saying. If Nakash means like deception or magic or a spell, right? Full payment. Egypt and Ghana, $6,795. August,
Damn.
August 1st through the 10th, right? Join Kemetic yoga skills. Come on, bro.
Facts, bro. That shit's crazy. Hey, but before my phone dies, I want to show you something. You put me on big screen real quick, bro.
I got you. I got you.
This is the picture of my mom and my three little brothers. Check this shit out. Check this out. Hold on, real quick. Go ahead. All right, so that's me, right? That's my mom. Look, you could tell her hair like stop playing. And then that's my little brother. He's about 22, 21. That's my little brother Mikey that I told you about earlier. That come on, like that dude got like
Damn.
the best fro, bro.
Look at
Look at him.
that hair.
Look at him, bro. He got like the best
Look at
fro out
that
of all of
hair.
us.
Look at that. Oh, that's crazy.
Right. So check this out. This is a picture I really wanted to show you. This one right here. How this man, right? He's classified black by his skin, but this guy isn't. Now, when Negro only Israelites say Israelites are black, whatever, right? Let's just say that they are. Let's say all of them are. You cannot tell me that each and every one of those hundreds of thousands of Israelites had the same hair texture. So even if they were all dark, you cannot say that some of them did not have this hair texture right here. It just wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, that's all I wanted to show you.
I mean, the dude on the right is definitely Indian.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's from India, and
Yeah,
look at his skin, bro. He has the same skin tone as Wesley Snipes.
He got like a yeah, I mean like exactly. I mean I understand exactly what you're saying. But man, your brothers got better froze than hell.
That's what I'm saying. Like it. Look, watch. Look, this is my girl right here. But never mind that. But this is me right here, right? Back when I had my hair long. I'm telling. If I let my hair grow completely, I have a better afro than all of these Negro only Israelites. And
Yeah.
like Rob Rack does, bring out Leviticus 13. If you don't have a hairline, if you don't if you don't have if you don't have an afro, you ain't an Israelite.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, that's all I want to share. That's my little brother Mike right there. He has a better afro than like every single Negro only Israelite out there. Like Kornath, he has a goddamn mohawk. That's white people shit. My little brother has an afro like in the 70s. What's this dude talking about?
Damn, that's crazy.
But
yeah,
anyways,
bro.
yeah, you take me up big screen now.
Oh, I got you.
But yeah, since it's getting a little late, my phone is about to die.
Hey,
So
Con.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Shalom, Kawayada, Yahweh Akkad.
Hey, Shalom, bro. Yahweh
Shalom,
Akkad.
brother Jeremy.
You know what I'm saying?
Shalom.
I,
Like
I, I just I just want to show this real quick, and then you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna close it. Where is it? I think it was one of these. Here it is. Right, right. But Egypt got this shit from the Hindus, right? Now, right here it says most popular. The history of yoga has been tied to the ancient India along with Buddhist, Hindu, and Jainism practice. It crosses many religions, but at the core remains a spiritual discipline that promotes the strengthening of the mind, blah, 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 blah. No, the hell it don't. It's nothing but demonic magic, sex magic, or it's some bullshit. But ancient India isn't the only civilization that incorporated yoga into a society. Kemet, an ancient kingdom of Egypt, had a similar practice, which indicates that yoga had historic roots in Egypt as well as India. They had the same practices, right?
oh damn.
It says, um, in 1994, Dr. Muata Ashby began researching the history of Sima Tawi, more popular known as Egyptian yoga. He holds a Doctor of Philosophy degree in religion and works as an independent researcher practitioner of Egyptian, Indian, and Chinese yoga as a leading voice on the history of Egyptian yoga. Right, Dr. Ashby has studied the yogic practices of Kemet, noticing similar characteristics to the practice we've known so well to come from India. Egyptian yoga includes a series of bodily postures, meditation, spiritual teachings, and chants to realign the spirit with whatever. No, they was on some weird Kundalini chakra bullshit, right? Right? It says many of the bodily postures can be found in the temple remains of Kemet and hieroglyphs, which solidifies the importance of this whatever spiritual practice in ancient Egyptian society, right? Right? But if we go, hold on, wait. So if we go with this one, right? Bro, Hinduism came first. In fact, the oldest of the four main religions is Hinduism. Hinduism has the oldest recorded roots in Dravidianism. Dravidianism was estimated to have been practiced around 6,300 BCE. You know what I'm saying? we don't really mess with dates. As such as predate Sumerian, Egyptian, and Babylonian cultures. Bro,
Wow.
they got this shit from Hinduism.
Man, that's crazy.
Got this shit from Hinduism. Now watch this. Watch this. Let me turn them on. Bro. Hold on. Kabbalah? Yoga and Kabbalah?
Is that book we saw at the
No. Bro. Oh, watch this. Right, down here. It says, for many centuries, even millennia, Jewish and Christian mystics have used Kabbalistic language to describe the same realms that yogis experience at different chakras or centers of consciousness. Come on, bro. This shit is Hinduism. This shit ain't nothing but Hinduism. It's like, bro, these niggas is faking jacks. Bro.
They don't. Hey, look, he doesn't know. He doesn't know where Ma'ats came from or how it started, but he seems to be like he knows for sure that it can't be from Hinduism, which is ridiculous. Because it's like if you're already admitting you don't know where it came from, and we're seeing multiple sources to say they're interconnected, and that freaking and that is older. What to say? Dravidianism is the connection. Then how are you gonna say that you don't know where it comes from? That's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
They both
crazy,
worship
bro.
the serpent and everything. I mean, as far as like I said, a lot of the core values in Hinduism are similar in Egypt, if not identical. You know what I'm saying? But hey man, I just want to say I appreciate all the brothers coming on, everybody coming out, showing support. You know what I mean? Like I I appreciate it all, and halal, I'm happy we're able to get a video done today, and hopefully many more. It's only so many hours in a day. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it felt like we could have kept talking about multiple different things. So we appreciate everybody who came out and who gave support. And we hope that you all were able to learn something new today. And yeah, this is Brother Z. I'm saying Shalom, Yahweh Akkad, and keep on learning, Yasharal.
Come. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shout out for all the brothers coming on. You know what I'm saying? Bring out scriptures. You know what I'm saying? It was a beautiful build. You know what I'm saying? Shalom to everybody who tuned in. Shalom and shout out to the whole TK Mafia. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Akkad. Keep the Torah. Always keep the Torah in your mind and your heart. Right? Don't get caught up in these false doctrines that's going around, bro. Because they're trying to get our people out the Torah. That's what they're trying to do. But you know what I'm saying? You got to be sincere with Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? Sincere and always offer your best to Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? To be diligent. You know what I'm saying? And
The fat.
come on, bro. You want to offer the best part, right? And also, right? Everybody, whose heart motivates him. The word is nadab, which means free will offering or to offer yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or to volunteer or voluntary offering. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out, like I said, shout out to the whole TK Mafia. Shout out to everybody who keep the Thou Wine truth. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Yahweh Akkad. Shalom.
Shalom.
Oh, I ain't know if Brother Vine want to say something. Stay away from the Nile. Stay away from Kemetic. All right, with that. Shalom, y'all. We out.